Welcome to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement, part of the Treehouse Podcast Network. I'm your host, retired officer Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today, Detective Curtis Hadley.
It's great to be here, guys.
And again, like we did a couple episodes ago, we've got a Coco host.
That's right, Coco.
A Coco host. Joann's joining us today. And joining us remotely from Fort Worth, we've got Sergeant Danny Jwanowski and Corporal Adrian Allcon. How are you guys today?
Doing well. Very well, thank you.
Outstanding. Everybody having a good day?
Oh yeah, it's been nice. Mm-hmm. Good weather.
How's the end of your 2024? Because today is actually the New Year.
Oh, it was pretty
Today
good.
Today is the New Year.
Absolutely. Oh, is this New Year?
This is New Year's episode.
Wow. Right on.
Happy New Year's, guys. You didn't know that.
Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, I didn't know that yet.
Welcome to 2025, 2 weeks ahead of time.
I hope I had a good time New Year's Eve.
It was so good you don't remember it.
I must have been.
Joann, how was your night last night?
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
my dog and I watched TV.
Okay.
Yeah, so riveting.
Yeah, so exciting.
All right. Okay. I hope I had a good New Year's Eve myself, but Curtis, are you going to have a good New Year's Eve?
Oh, you better believe it. Yeah, I'll probably be working, but yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of which, this episode, obviously we're recording ahead of time, but it's coming out New Year's Day. If you're out there, you're a first responder and you are working today, then thank you. Thank you very much. We've been out there. We've all had to take our turn doing that. But if you are working the streets today or in any capacity today, thanks for doing that. Thanks for keeping us safe, and stay safe yourselves. Now, Danny, let's start with you. You are a sergeant at Fort Worth Police Department, correct?
Yes.
How long have you been with Fort Worth?
Been with Fort Worth for 15 years, and I worked in patrol for 6 years, decided it was time to promote. I did some time in general assignment and then moved on to CACU, Crimes Against Children Unit, for the majority of my investigative days. Once I promoted from there, I pretty much went straight to our street crimes unit and then moved on to SWAT from there.
Oh, very nice. And you said 15 years?
Yes, sir.
You know, we did discuss in the last episode that we need some SWAT guys for bags for badges.
And that's not fair to Danny here, because he didn't hear that conversation.
Well, next Wednesday, listen to the episode and then hit us back on your feelings about that.
All right.
And just a heads up on that, they were talking about assist the officer. Dallas was talking about their fundraiser bags, bags for badges, and the fundraiser where officers go in there and model these purses for a very lively audience. And Joann's request was for good-looking SWAT guys.
Hey, I mean, like, most of the guys, they're firefighters, they're police officers, they work out, and yeah.
So you're basically excluding all of us overweight detectives.
Nope. Because everybody does it. We have all sorts of people who do it.
It's a whole walks of life.
But there's one officer in particular that the girls really seem to enjoy. And we were talking about Dallas SWAT, and I said, well, we got some, the Dallas SWAT guys, they're got nice hair, and why don't
Did you say they've got nice hair or they've got nose hair?
Nice hair.
Okay, I thought I heard.
No, that's firemen. Firemen have nose hairs.
Firemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes all the way out in the upper lip and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it comes part of that mustache.
We definitely have some specimens on our team as well, so maybe I'll send them your way.
Right on.
It would be a direct order from you, so you really fill the card for us.
No problem. No problem.
That's what you call teamwork right there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it went that route, because I was getting awkward, Joann, you asking for good-looking SWAT guys. And when, of course, we've got Danny on here, I'm thinking, Joann, are you asking this man out on the show?
No, I'm asking, for him to contact Joe if they want to volunteer.
I don't remember Joe's email. Joe King, Dallas ATO.
No, it was Joe Bridge at Gmail. I don't know. It's on the show.
Yeah, it's on the show. There you go. Yeah. Order all your guys to go over and do it. Yeah. So, all right, 15 years there. You're a sergeant, and you do SWAT. Now, Adrian, how long have you been over there?
16 years.
So, you trump your neighbor there sitting next to you.
I do. By
And
about 11 months.
Is it just one academy class off?
No, it's actually 3.
Really?
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, well, you got the
I thought it was just a
Leo,
lateral class.
that weird lateral.
Oh,
class.
class 0, whatever.
Yeah.
And, okay, so you've been all 16 years at Fort Worth. All at Fort Worth?
Yes.
Man, and Danny, all your time's been at Fort Worth also?
Correct.
Well, remember, he's legacy because you got his dad was a lieutenant, his brother's on the department, so the whole family did.
That's
you got
crazy.
2 legacies sitting in
Yeah.
front of you.
Both of us.
Oh, I forgot about that. I
wow.
apologize. Yeah.
Wow, every time I talk to a Fort Worth officer, that's usually the only agency they've worked for, and that speaks volumes for Fort Worth PD. Because
We talked about that a couple episodes ago about how like you don't leave Fort Worth if you go to if you leave another department to go there, you stay. It's not like somewhere that people are leaving.
yeah, wow,
Yeah, we got a lot of good people over here. Really good work environment. The chief that we're working for right now has probably been one of my favorite chiefs that we've had, and I would say you kind of come for the retirement package, but then you stay for the people.
yeah, and we mentioned nobody ever quits Fort Worth, but sore subject. I guess Chief's quitting.
Yeah.
I guess I can't say
Thanks
that
for rubbing that
anymore.
one in, Steve. Yeah.
Quitting.
I love you, Neil.
Good for him. Good for him. Do your 25, get out, and find something else to do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, come be on our podcast.
Well, he said that he's going to spend more time with his family, and that's invaluable.
Mm-hmm.
There is a time limit in law enforcement. There's definitely a time limit, especially you become a chief. I mean, I don't even pretend to know what all the responsibilities are there and the stressors with that. But good for him. Good for him. But he's a good dude.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, so you two have worked together previously. I mean, like, weren't you guys in patrol together?
Yes, we were.
Did you guys ever respond to calls together? Anything like that?
I mean, we rode together for quite a while too. So.
Yeah, we didn't
that's
have
the
a ton of
furthest.
people on our shift, but we did have only 2 cars. So we everybody ended up doubling up quite a bit. And whether that's because the people that were driving in our division were poor at it, or whether cars just didn't get sent our way very often, it seemed like we ended up doubling up a lot just for mere fact of lack of resources.
Yeah, that happens. We always rode solo on Farmers Branch, but
Well,
doesn't mean we had enough
Fort Worth
cars.
is set up for solo, but like he said, with car situations and whatnot, so sometimes it's also a lot more fun to get to double up. You have somebody to talk to and somebody to help you do all the paperwork. So
I could only imagine.
And when he worked too much, I had to drive for him. So.
Built-in backups.
Well,
Yeah.
what I was saying is this is the furthest apart I've ever seen them right there. I mean, most times it's like their hips are always touching. For years, you never saw one without the other on calls. If she wasn't there, he wasn't there. Either they called off or something like that. But if one called off, they both called off. I'm pretty sure because I never saw them apart. But
Really?
but good officers, damn good officers. They were always doing their jobs.
Well, and yeah, I mean, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see these two. They're still sitting next to each other.
Yes, they are.
Well, that's good. It's good to have coworkers you get along with.
Yeah, it is.
Danny, you mentioned, or I should say, Curtis mentioned your brother works for Fort Worth. He's actually been on the show before, and your dad also retired from Fort Worth, correct?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did work with my brother for a while too, and
We all did.
yeah, we all did. We all had to. We had to take shifts to deal with him.
He rode out with me for his ride out before he came on.
Okay. Dad, he retired in 2015, so I got to work with him for about 5 years. He actually was like the second person to show up on a late morning vehicle pursuit after this van rolled over and crashed. So that was a fun little story that we both get to share. because I was working midnights and he came in on the day shift. So we overlapped for about an hour or two. and yeah, we had I was coming home from jail and I was happy to be done with the day. And a DWI was right in front of me and almost hit a couple of cars. So can't ignore that.
Nope.
He didn't stop for me when I lit him up, and ended up going around on a short pursuit until he decided to roll into a fire hydrant. It didn't go off like in the movies though.
Oh, man.
Ah.
And I was on the phone with my dad at the time, just kind of BSing about whatever was going on. And I just kind of said, hold on, and I put him in the door pocket, put the phone in the door pocket. So he heard me calling out over the radio. He heard me echoing on his phone, and he came out to our termination point pretty quick there.
And the rest of us are going,
Yeah.
what are you doing? We want to go home.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a long night, a long morning. And I remember coming back from jail, I almost rear-ended the crap out of the car in front of me because I started dozing off. But also, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So all's well that ends well. So
Yeah, nothing-
and then my brother, we overlapped for at least a year, where my last day of the week was Fridays and his first day of the week was Fridays. So we ended up riding out together sometimes and causing all sorts of shenanigans and havoc.
Mayhem.
And it's mainly because we both like to work, and he's the shit magnet, not me as much. I'm better. I don't know. I'm better at either avoiding or just not turning things into a cyclone of headache. But we got to ride together for a while there. Our supervisors let us do that as long as we weren't causing him any headaches, and for the most part, we did that.
Yeah, it's nothing worse when you have an officer that you can't pronounce his name, but now the partner has the exact same name, so you don't even know what to call him.
Right.
Like, hello, I'm Officer Jwanowski, and this is my partner, Officer Jwanowski. You're like, what? So
Is there an echo
Real
in here?
fun when you start putting them in reports because they both their first names both start with
Jwanowski
D.
A,
Also,
Jwanowski
so
B.
it's D. Jwanowski.
Yeah, you got to
You're like-
remind him.
Have to remember their ID numbers to tell them
I
apart.
didn't think it. I just told it. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Hey, and the W is silent.
It,
Jwanowski. No, add the W, but don't pronounce it. Right?
yeah, pretty much.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I learned that when your brother was on the show. I'm like, what is this? Jwanowski, but there's a W in here.
I would have
Anyways.
hoped you had forgotten everything that happened on that episode by now, but I don't know.
No.
If you're still going through processing trauma, I don't know.
Well, our therapist told us it's just a few more weeks. So
Yeah, we should be good. Should be good before long. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, actually, he shared a prank that he pulled on you. Said one night that he.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
guy.
That was a lasting memory when he told that story. But yeah, said he borrowed your desk one night because he had a rookie with him, and his rookie was doing paperwork, and apparently your brother was bored and putting Post-it notes all over everything.
Yep. While I was in the detective's office, he had a late night call, and I wasn't on call, so I didn't come out to that one. And he found my desk, and he decided to leave a bunch of presents for me around the office. The last one I found was 2 years later, and I put a little date on it for when I found it, and I keep that one as a little
And what-
memory to get back at him someday.
And anybody remember what the little gifts were he left?
oh well, I think they're affectionately called penis pics, or there's another form for it.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of hand-drawn, phallic, graphic, veiny, just
Yeah,
lots
that's a true
of
Keku guy.
love
there.
and care went into those little gifts.
Wow. Yeah, really artistic,
Oh yeah,
design on that.
the
And-
one on the
Maybe
cup
this
was
is
mine.
falling, right?
I like the cup one. That was my favorite.
Well, yeah, he said he put one on the bottom of your coffee cup. That's the one you didn't find for a couple of years until you were interviewing somebody.
It was the same day, but yeah, I hadn't
Uh-huh.
found that one yet, and I had an interview that day. So the interview comes in, and I go through my whole spiel. I go through the first half of my interview, and that's the point where I kind of give them the old, you sit there and you think about what you're going to be saying next, because your future depends on this. And I go and I get a refill for my coffee. And as I grab my cup to pour it in there, I feel it on the bottom, and I think, oh my God. I've just been flashing the bottom of my cup at this guy for the last, 45 minutes. And who knows what's going on in my time. Like, is this guy messing with me? What is he doing? So So
That's
yeah,
funny.
He probably thought it was a tactic of some kind.
yeah, I was definitely inside his mind. That's for sure.
You got your cup with you today?
I do. Yeah, it's the one I still drink out of. It's got a
There it
little
is.
murdered donut.
Now, do you check the bottom of that cup every time you drink out of it?
Only when I know I can sense when he's been in this office.
Well, I was going to say, like, initially I didn't understand that it was a Post-it note on the bottom of the cup. And I'm like, don't you wash your cup?
Oh yeah.
No, same day. So
Same day, yeah.
yeah,
It was a Post-it note, so it was a little different than I thought. It was drawn on with like a marker or something.
Stuck
It was
up to the bottom.
yeah, it was already a clean cup except for the
The
image on the bottom was not very clean.
pornographic.
Mhm.
Hand drawn. Yeah, your brother's got some talent there, I guess.
He's
Did he
devious,
go to
that's
art
for
school? Yeah. Well, and you said that you actually rode out with your brother. You guys ever get into any trouble together? Anything funny when you guys were riding together?
We definitely did. So one of the better ones was when we were riding together. We like to work, so we would pull up the warrant list every now and then and find something that was appropriate for patrol officers to go after. So we found one night that was like a felony DWI. We were looking for a felony scratch, and somebody had a felony DWI warrant. So we went out there to the apartment, started looking around, see if his car's there or whatever, and we got to the point where we went to check the door, maybe do a knock and talk. Well, around that time, either a security guard or somebody that worked there asked us if we needed help or anything, and we said sure. So after knocking for a while and not getting an answer, we just wanted to test to see if the privacy lock was thrown. So they had a key, and we were able to determine that the privacy lock is thrown. So now we're 99% sure somebody's inside this house.
Yep.
And if they're not coming to the door at, let's say, 9 o'clock when people should be at home, then we called up our supervisor and got permission to force open the door to effect this warrant. And we were beating on the door, giving them plenty of opportunity to get in there. My brother was going to be the ram on this one, and I had it covered on the front with a shotgun. And right as he's in his backswing to open this, to force open this door, it swings open because I guess whoever's looking through the peephole finally decided, hey, they mean business. So, and it was our suspect, and we took him into custody right there without any issues. Then we went to clear the apartment, and we found two people in the back, two people that were in the back that were pretending to be asleep. And because we had been beating on this door loud enough for the neighbors to come out and see what's going on, I started laying into this one lady. I was like, what is wrong with you? You heard us out there. I know you did. And you should have come out there, and this could have been handled safer than how it was. And she looked at me and then looked at her, I guess it was her daughter that was in the corner of the room, and looked back at me, and she's like, I can't hear.
Oh, my
Crap.
And I looked at her, I looked back at her, I go, okay, I believe you couldn't hear me. What's your excuse? So,
I bet you were all ears then, weren't you?
yeah, her adult daughter was like, so yeah. After we did that, the security guard came around, and he wanted to get a short, like a report number, a little story about what was going on, because he has to do his report for the apartment complex. And we gave him the details, and at the end he wanted our names, and we were sitting on our car, and we told him it was Officer Jwanowski and Officer Jwanowski. And he kind of leaned into our window and was like, really? And he's like, yes, we are a domestic partnership. And he started getting real confused, and I was like, yeah, we get to work together. And oh my God, sweetie, you took my shirt this morning. So we're like, you got my name tag. Oh no, you got my name tag. You're a silly goose. This security guard got real uncomfortable at that point and walked away.
What? Yeah, something else. 2
Yeah,
or so
he
weeks
did.
later, he's
Yeah.
like, so is that a couple.
Yeah, two or so weeks later, he one of the other guys that worked, I think the shift right before us, walked up to us and was like, "Hey, did you two tell some security guard?" Because he had a real Eastern Texas accent. "Did you two tell the security guard that y'all were a gay couple?" And we're like, "Absolutely. Why? What'd you say?" He's like, "I told him y'all were as gay as the day is long." Thank you. Keep it going.
This is Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. Check us out online at offbeatcopshow.com.
Planning for the future is challenging, and getting where you want to go in life requires strategies built around your unique financial needs. Alexander Financial Management is here to help you reach your goals. As fiduciaries, Alexander Financial Management will pursue the best solutions for you, no exception. While their decades of experience and service are available to everyone, Alexander Financial especially wants to help first responders and their families. The founder is a former police officer, and the executive team includes a retired fire captain and a retired police officer. Their extensive background in public service gives a deep understanding of the public retirement systems of Texas. So for retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, and estate planning, Alexander Financial Management has your back, so you can look forward. Get more info at alexfm.com. That's alexfm.com. Investment advisory services offered through Transcend LLC, a registered investment advisor. TE3 and Alexander Financial are not affiliated entities. Insurance products and services are not offered through TE3, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents.
And we're back to more Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. I'm your host, retired officer Steve Rutherford. We've got Curtis and Joann joining us in studio
Great to be
today.
here.
Hey.
And we're joined by two guests. We've got Sergeant Danny Jwanowski and Corporal Adrian Allcon, both over in Fort Worth. Thanks for being here, guys.
Glad to be here.
Now, this segment of Offbeat is sponsored by our good friends at Alexander Financial Management. If you have questions about retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, or estate planning, check out Alexander Financial Management at alexfm.com.
.com.
.com. Wait, wait. While we're on that topic, Curtis, if you haven't been to the website, check it out. It's Offbeat Cop Show.
.com.
Again, that's Offbeat Cop Show.
.com.
Guys, you can check out all episodes there on the website, as well as subscribe to the email list. Let me see. Check us out on social media. Mm-hmm. We've got Facebook, Instagram, Joann? YouTube. You like to mention that one.
Because you always forget it.
Wow,
Well, we don't do MySpace. Let's just get that out there, guys.
Yes, we established that. Curtis does MySpace, but the rest of us don't.
Oh, yeah. Well, it happens. You get old.
Yeah, if you are watching the show on YouTube, guys, hit that subscribe button for us and give us a thumbs up.
Yeah, like, share, follow, listen.
All that. Like, share,
all that good
follow,
stuff.
listen,
Just
all
clap.
that.
I don't care. I mean,
Shameless plug.
Yeah, laugh. Tell somebody about it.
call your grandma, please.
Yeah, let your grandma listen.
Also,
For
if
a
you're
minute
an
there, I
officer,
thought you replaced Curtis with a soundboard.
also, if you're an officer and you've got a funny story to tell, you'd like to come on the show and share with our listeners, then send us an email, offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Again, offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Thank you for the assist there, Curtis. Oh, you know what? Let's knock out one more thing real quick. The RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation.
Oh, yes.
Listeners Foundation was formed many, many years ago by our good friend Russ Martin from the Russ Martin Show. Although we lost Russ several years back, the Listeners Foundation is still going. The purpose of the foundation is to provide a monetary donation to the families of fallen officers and firefighters in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in the event that they fall in the line of duty. So, again, if you'd like to make a donation to the foundation, visit treehouseonair.com. Again, that's treehouseonair.com. And check out the page there. Go up to the top. There's a link to the foundation's website where you can make a donation. So we appreciate it. Want to make sure that the foundation lives long into the future. Heaven forbid we should ever have to issue another check from the foundation, but we want to make sure that the guys over at the foundation are able to do so if need be. So, Adrian, you had mentioned that the two of you had been involved in what seems to be a legendary pursuit.
Yep. It was so it never is good when you're like, okay, let's go get something to eat.
Nope, that means something bad's about to kick off.
But then you add to, hey, I haven't made a traffic stop yet tonight. Let's get one of those knocked out of the way.
Ooh.
So I'm in front and Danny's behind me, and we're going to get something to eat. And then we're just trying to get an easy traffic stop, something quick and easy. So we have this guy pull out of an apartment complex, turn right into the wrong lane. You don't think anything of that, right? So he turns right into the wrong lane. I decide, well, this should be an easy traffic stop. Let's light him up. Light him up. He puts his blinker on, pulls over to the right, and then doesn't stop. And then he decides, okay, now I'm going to gas it. And then now we're moving. So we make a few turns. He pulls up into a yard. And so I think he's going to bail out of the car. So I get out and try to start, getting ready to chase him. Of course, he doesn't. He stays in the car. Now he backs the car up, almost hits my patrol car in the process. And then he's off again. And now, unfortunately, I'm out of the pursuit because I'd gotten out of my car in time, doesn't let you get into the car. So
then I take over number one.
Yep. And Danny is right behind me. So he takes over. And then it just kind of starts from there. It ends up being a full 17 minutes, which none of it's on the highway. It's all, regular city streets. And I'll let you take over from there.
Yeah.
So you were in the lead, but now because you're outside your car, this person takes off. Now Danny's the lead unit now.
And I keep trying to figure out a way to get back in it because they're circling, but I never can quite get back there.
Yeah, and you can tell he's trying to make his way back to the apartments that he originated from. But most of it was through like main thoroughfares in residential areas, and the way that my part terminated was as we were going across one of these main thoroughfares, it has quite a bit of hump at it, and when you take that at 90 miles an hour, Crown Vic tends to get a little squirrely in the air. Well, it landed pretty hard and ended up tripping the accelerometer, which kills the gas pump and whatever else. So I ended up just kind of coasting. It's like in neutral, and now I'm just coasting for like 2 or 3 blocks, trying to still give out descriptions of where they're going. And at this point, the gang unit has taken over second and third, so now they're first and second. And continue the pursuit. And I just kind of coast off the main road and into a residential street where I stop and kind of think, well, what can I do now? Because my car is messed up. So I think, if he comes back this way, I'll have stop sticks ready. And I jump out, I get to my trunk and pop open the trunk and I look down and I realize the 3 cases of beer, bottled beer, that I'd just taken off of a bunch of juveniles earlier in the shift has completely shattered, covering my patrol bag and everything. It's reeking of beer, that nice skunk smell. And at the time, we didn't have body cameras, but we did have a mic that was on our belt that picked up me going, "Oh, damn it!" Whenever. That was one thing that my supervisor at the time got to question me about, but he already kind of had a backstory because our night shift captain at the time decided to drive by and check on me, and he walked up and looked down at my trunk full of broken beer, and I just looked up and go, "Listen, I can explain." And he's like, I don't need to hear it.
He ended up being our chief, right?
Yeah, he ended up being our chief for a minute. And now the actual termination of pursuit.
Yeah, so then the gang unit had taken over, so it didn't last very much longer. the suspect tried to jump a wrought iron fence, the ones that all spiky at the top. And he didn't quite make it. He made it like halfway over the fence when the gang unit guys grabbed a hold of him, and then they yanked him back. And because it had all the spikes, like it just shredded all of his clothing. To the point that when the DA got the case, she's like, I was having to check and make sure that this was appropriate to show because the clothing was that shredded. And on top of that, like the pocket of his pants ended up on the top of one of those spikes, and in it was a bag of weed. So like the whole pocket with a bag of weed in it on top of the spike of the fence.
Well, they weren't his pants, though, right?
Right.
Oh,
I guarantee you he said these are not my pants.
he may have a full gallon-sized bag of weed and the gun in the car, kind of.
Yeah, that was a clue.
Oh, it's not my car, not my pants.
Yeah. Was he a big
Yeah,
guy?
he ended
Was
up
he-
being
was he-
like a prolific gang member too. So it was really beneficial that the gang decided to just jump in the pursuit and help us, because then you're like, hey, now you can do all your identification for this guy and everything.
Yeah, like his whole family.
Yeah,
Everybody. They weren't on South Side a whole lot where we were because this was our first encounter with them. But apparently everybody on West Side knew the whole family.
Long
So-
story short, we did not eat that night.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes for a missed meal for sure. Now, Danny, you're a sergeant on the SWAT team, correct?
Yes.
I had a little bit of experience with your SWAT team, not a bad experience. Curtis.
On duty or off duty here? I didn't know. I'm not supposed to hang out with felons, so.
You know, what's weird is I was off duty, but but no, back during the days of the Russ Martin show on 97.1 over at iHeart Studios, old Dan O'Malley from over there, who's, of course, now Dan's the president of the Treehouse Podcast Network, but at the time, Dan was the co-host there on the show, and you guys over in Fort Worth used what's called a bowler wrap on a suspect, and Dan called me at my agency and asked if I had one. And I told him no, but I could probably get my hands on one. And he said, yeah, see if you can. So I actually got a hold of a lieutenant of your SWAT team, and we got him to come over with a bowler wrap. And poor Jerry Caldwell's an intern at the time over at the show. He agreed to get bowler wrapped.
He's a guinea pig, huh?
Yeah, he was getting paid. He's a great sport about it.
He signed the waivers and everything.
What waivers?
Oh, waivers? Oh, yeah.
He signed
No,
the
we might
waivers
have-
and everything.
That's a true sergeant right there.
Um,
Already looking ahead.
well, I don't know that whoever the lieutenant was at the time, I don't know that he brought waivers.
I'm pretty sure this was an off the books bolo, okay, guys?
Yeah, but no, that was neat. And if you're listening and you don't know what one of these things actually is, you can Google search bowler wrap, but it pretty much shoots out like tinsel, if you will, with a couple of hooks on the end of it.
Like a taser?
Yeah, shoots it out at somebody, and it's weighted down at the end. It just wraps them up super quick.
And it's got like hooks
Yeah.
on the end, and they kind of hook in. And
Yeah.
he said it was hot.
Yeah, when we hit Jerry with it, because we had to go down the parking lot from the studio, and anyways, the sound engineer guys, and anyways, they rigged it up so we could go down the parking lot. And had Jerry just stand there, and yeah, hit him once around the torso and once around the legs.
I thought didn't he run?
It's pretty cool. Afterwards, he was trying to break it,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It was really interesting to see. Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he said it was hot. He's like, this is kind of warm.
So you guys ever have to deploy the bowler wrap?
We do have that. We train that. And there was a deployment that we had, but it was before my time. And from what I understand, it was on a barricaded person call. And for whatever reason, the person that came out, he started to be compliant, but then indicated that he wasn't going to be. And so the bowler wrap got used successfully that time. And since I've been over here, we, like I said, we still carry it and train it, but we haven't had a cause to use it.
And I think that incident you're referring to was the one that actually made the news, that brought it to Dan's attention, that caused him to ask me to see if we could get one in the studio. So, good job. It was a lot of fun, but
Yeah.
I'm sure Jerry is very excited the fact that, that the media picked up on that, because if the media had never shown that, Jerry would have never gotten hit with it. So
Yeah, I think he had fun doing it.
yeah, he did. He's a good sport about it. Jerry's a
Yeah.
great guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Now, over in Fort Worth, do you guys ever receive any intel on burglary suspects or locations that might be targeted?
Sure.
On occasion, we had one while we were in patrol where undercover Dallas officers were following this gang of check cashing place burglars. And so they got a hold of our supervisors, and we all, like the whole team, they all said, hey, this was kind of at the end of our shift, but they said, hey, everybody's authorized some overtime. So we all set up as, around this check cashing place that the Dallas undercover guys said that these guys were going to hit. And sure enough, they did. And then we were riding together that night, and I was driving. And so when they came out of the store and, the closer officers tried to get to them, they took off running. So we followed one of them as far as we could in the car. And then Danny riding passenger, that's the eject button and the get out and go chase them.
Got the door popped halfway open, one leg out, and just waiting to stop. And as soon as we got slow enough, jumped out, hit the ejector button, and chased this one guy. He ran, down a hill, through a creek, up the other side, and jumped this 6-foot wooden privacy fence. And he did it pretty nimbly for
I don't know.
that guy.
My short little legs, I was too far behind.
I'm wearing all this gear, and I try to jump over it, and I'll just start pulling pickets off the top of it, trying to scramble over it like a cat trying to get purchase on a tile counter or something. To probably look ridiculous. But just down the next property, there was a iron gate that went into an open parking lot, and I was able to jump over that pretty easily. And when I jumped it, the suspect was there, and we had 2 of our sergeants, because they were listening on our directions, whatever. They made their way to that parking lot, and they were both like you'd see basketball defensive men just kind of bouncing back and forth, trying to see which way he was going to juke. And me, I felt like Bobby Boucher from Waterboy coming up behind him, full blast, just ran to the back of him, tackled both of my sergeants, and somehow ended up spraining one of my ankles. I blame my sergeant. I think he fell on it. But he caught that guy, and
the other guys got the other guy too. So it was all good. We caught both of them.
Good story. Yeah.
Good deal. Happy ending for everybody except for the bad guys.
Yeah.
That's what
you got the opportunity to tackle 2 sergeants though, and yeah, that's a good time.
Yeah. Couldn't stop the pain train.
The pain train. Well,
No
and
pain train.
One might say that you're prone to injury at work, right?
More
That
than
is
one.
correct.
More than
Quite
one.
frequently. There was a period in patrol where I had to go on injury days at least once a year for some stupid thing like that.
Well, ever have a good injury chasing a suspect?
Sure, there was
I don't think they're ever good.
they're never good.
Ever have
good
an
catch, good
interesting?
Yeah, there was one time, it was around New Year's. Adrian and I were riding together, and we got sent out to a aggravated assault, somebody threatening somebody with a knife at a motel that had 3 floors. And we went up to the 3rd floor of the apartment, the hotel room, and knocked on the door. They answered it. We started getting everybody out and sitting them in the hall.
Like teenagers, they're 16 to 18 kind of years old. So
we started sitting them down in the hallway, and it was either the last guy or one of the last guys was down the opposite end of the hall where I was. And instead of sitting down, he decided to take off running. So Adrian took off running after him as well. And I looked at the 2 that I was sitting in front of, and I said, "Don't you move," and then took off running too. And he went down the hall, found the stairs to go down. And as soon as I broke the corner and went into the stairwell, I could see Adrian off to the stairs here, and bad guy had a pretty good lead underneath me. And this was definitely without thinking, because I should have been thinking about this, but I decided to just leap over from this landing over the railing to the next landing.
I just see
Yeah,
feet
feeling
flying
like-
over me.
Feeling like
It always works in the movies, right?
Yeah.
So,
It was
yeah,
definitely
works in the movies.
Yeah, it was definitely a movie scene right there. And I landed on the stairs, and mostly on my feet, popped back up and ran after this guy. Ended up catching him in the parking lot and tackling him there. And as soon as he got in cuffs and I had a second to actually think about what was going on, I realized, I got this terrible pain in my foot. And I think it was the same foot that I sprained my ankle on the last one. But I ended up landing weird on the stairs and breaking my big toe on my foot, and wearing a boot for the next, I don't know, couple of weeks to a month, sitting in our detective's office shuffling paperwork.
Yeah, never. I mean, I would assume it's not a good idea to jump over the railing and stairs, but like you said, Curtis, on the movies, they do it all the time.
Well,
You
they
can-
don't
you can do
tell
anything
you
you
this in the police academy. They don't give us stunt doubles in police work. Movies, they got some guy just jumps over. That's his job. Our job, you try, and then sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah. So have you done that ever again?
Definitely not wearing an extra 30 pounds of gear, no. But
But you have tried it again.
So you didn't learn a lesson.
not to the same degree.
I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious now. You say you've done it again, but not with all the gear.
I'm just thinking hobbies like bouldering or rock climbing or something, where you end up just falling from a stupid height, but at least you got a pad to land on. You plan for a fall.
Yeah. Stair jumping's not a hobby.
No.
All right, guys, we'll be back. Let's welcome Daniel Cook now from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration into the studio. 833 Cook DFW is the phone number. The website is cookdfw.com. Daniel, you guys do restoration work. Wait, what kind of restorations have you had to do before?
Steve, restoration is a broad topic. It covers a large amount of information. So restoration starts with anything that occurs in your home that, i.e. water damage, smoke damage, organic growth is found in your home, i.e. Everybody calls it mold, mildew, things like that. There are biohazard restorations as well. So a lot of these things occur after something large happens. And, this last couple of years, we've had a large increase in water restoration claims. And so there's different levels of that. So we specialize in the restoration side. There's a remediation side as well. And that's the guys that come in with the large fans, dehumidifiers, all that water contamination. They sweep everything up, get all the water. What we do is what's called flood cuts. We come in, cut your walls, get all that moisture out of the sheetrock, get that old sheetrock out of there, make sure the framing is dried out properly so it doesn't continue to build organic infrastructure and material. After everything's then certified, that's dry and it's acceptable to rebuild, then we rebuild your home. And rebuilding means all the walls, the trim, the baseboards, the flooring, cabinets, painting. I mean, everything that goes into your house that you look around, that's what we do. We make your house pretty again, because let's face it, if you ever have to go through a water claim or smoke claim or something like that, it's one of the most awfulest things to do, because it's so messy, dirty, time consuming. It's not pretty, but that's what, at the end of the day, we want to make your home better than what it was before, shiny and new, just like when you got it at first. So it can make you feel good that at least you got through the process.
Man, that sounds like that could be a real mess. I'm glad there's a company like you guys out there that can help folks out in these kinds of situations. So give Daniel a call at Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration for any of those roofing, remodeling, or restoration needs. The number is 833 Cook DFW, and the website is cookdfw.com. Be sure to ask about their free first responder upgrade. Welcome back. Welcome back to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. We've got two guests joining us today. We've got Sergeant Danny Jwanowski and Corporal Adrian Allcon, both from the Fort Worth Police Department. So good to have you two with us today. Now,
is that a question? You said it was like, and Danny Jwanowski.
Jwanowski. I'm trying to make sure I pronounce it right, and that W really throws me off on it, or the first W does. The second W I'm okay with. It's the first one. I'm like, that doesn't. It's JWAN. Jwanowski.
Got too many W's.
Your last name has too many W's, sir. Okay, but
if you said any variant of it, I would raise my hand. Yep, here. Used to that.
We were talking during the break, and I think we've got a theme for this for our last segment. And I think Curtis, and Joann, I think the theme we're going to roll with on this one is stripper poles and tacos.
Man, that sounds like a rapper song, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Good combination.
You know what? If we start a rap group, we're gonna.
That should be your rapper name.
Sounds like my plan after I win the lottery.
Well, Danny, tell us a little bit about tacos.
All right, so taco story. I was in patrol, and we had a call about a juvenile fight that was going to happen on in my beat. So me and another officer, we went out there and tried to squash it before it happened, tried to disperse everybody. And some people left, but we could definitely tell that it was still going to be a problem. And since it was on my beat, I was going to take responsibility for it. And I told my partner, I said, hey, wait here for a second. Let me go grab some food. Went around the corner, ordered a couple tacos. And then my plan was to sit there like halfway down the beat, or halfway down the street, be highly visible to try to deter these kids from starting up a fight again. Well, that lasted for all about 5 to 7 minutes. And because whenever you turn your lights on in the car, it kicks off your dash cam, and it actually had a really nice video of this. You see the kids start fighting in the background, and me stand up, throw my tacos down, get on the radio, tell everybody what's going on, roll up, turn the lights on, and just walk up into the middle of this crowd, grab one girl in a headlock, grab the other girl in a headlock, and then just march these two fighting girls to the back of my car. Other people get there and help out, but yeah, it's just a real fun video that I remember seeing. And I'm sitting on the hood of my car in my cowboy hat, keeping the sun off my head, trying to deter some crime. You know, it's usually preventative, but I'm trying to prevent it, or it's usually you have to respond to, get reactive. But I'm trying to prevent it this time, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah. Well, I think theory was sound, but I think it crumbled like a taco on you.
Yeah, the effort was there, but it all fell in my lap like ground beef and lettuce.
Even the lettuce.
Oh.
So then, how's our stripper poles fit in?
Yeah, how do we work stripper poles in on this, Adrian?
Well, so I was helping Danny do a report. He'd just taken a burglary report. That's something we do all the time. And I don't remember why, if we were riding 2-man or what, but we were doing the report together. And I was like, well, I'll go enter the property for you. And one of the things that was stolen in this burglary was a Carmen Electra stripper pole.
TM.
And I don't know why I remember this, but that's how she described it. It was in the middle of her apartment, and somebody came in and took it.
Wait, what cold-hearted person would steal someone's stripper pole?
I have no idea.
Mean, that's a felony, right?
It should be.
That's a felony.
Yeah.
So then when I'm sitting there at the office trying to figure out how to put this in the report system, so I'm like, what category do we use? Actually called up our report writing unit and said, hey, I think I have a new one for you. And they're like, I don't think so. We have so many, I don't think you can have a new one.
Hold on, hear me out.
And I was like, well, this is what I've got. It's a Carmen Electra stripper pole. And they're like, well, yep, I think that's a new one. We had to figure out how to categorize it to put it in the report.
Exercise equipment,
That's what I go with. Yeah,
That's what I go with.
kitchen appliance,
extracurricular. I don't know. I mean, occupational.
Furniture.
occupational. Yeah, depending on what capacity it was used at.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But you don't want to use the stripper pole with the tacos. That could be detrimental. So, greasy
Get greasy.
fingers.
Oh, greasy
You don't
pole.
want to do
You don't
greasy
want a
fingers
greasy pole.
with that.
Mm-mm.
I was wondering where you're going there. I was
No, I'm
thinking,
just- yeah.
well, you can't eat a taco upside down, or depending on what you're doing on the pole.
If you are, you've got talent.
We're going to issue a challenge out there. If you're anybody out there who can eat a taco on a stripper pole,
Upside down.
send Curtis the video. All right, guys, that's what we got for today's show. Danny and Adrian, thanks for coming on the show today. We appreciate you guys. Stay safe out there. Guys, keep it real, keep it funny. Until next time, stay safe and watch each other six.